Hi, Daniel.
Yes, hello.
Hi, how you doing, Daniel?
Right, brother, how are you?
Very well, thank you. It's good to see you. Finally, I get to interact with you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Awesome. You're currently in Dubai. I guess you're in traffic, but you're settled now.
Yeah, I'm settled down now. We can have our meeting.
All right, great. So let's just delve straight to it so that we don't take so much of our time. I think you already have an idea of this. So this is a one-on-one session, which you've done previously with some other people that you may know, like Franklin, Rome, and co. So
Yes.
basically, what's the Africa's crypto story?
Mm.
And you're one of the leading key opinion leaders in Uganda, for at least from Uganda. I know
Yeah.
currently you're not there, but at least from Uganda, yeah.
That's
So let's tell your story. So delving in straight,
okay.
the first I'd like to give it on you is many reports, right, suggest that adoption is growing rapidly across Africa. But from your own experience on the ground,
Yes.
what does adoption in Uganda look like today? And where do you think outsiders get the story wrong?
Okay. That's a good question. My name is Daniel Mulondo, and
Yeah.
I sit as an investment strategist with a company called Divinos Investment Group, which is based in the UK. Also, we are circulating across UAE and Africa. That's one of the reasons. That's why I'm here. But also, in the other way around, I am the General Secretary of Uganda Blockchain Association. At least I've been around. I've seen the evolution how we started and where we are right now. Because people had what we call fear of unknown. Walking the journey from unknown to the known. That seems to be a strange one, but as leaders, you provide the way. Basically, for many reasons. One, the infrastructure. Because the young generation in Uganda, we have about 80% young people below the age of 30 years. And the average is 15 years. A population of 50 plus million people, but the population is young. So these people get exposed because they participate in the global markets. They use social platforms. They're on TikTok. They can use, when communication is freely, people intend to adopt other stuff. So one of the hindrances has been money movement or cross-border payments. So young people saw a lot of challenges with financial houses or the financial institutions. The bureaucracy, you go to the bank, it takes you ages for you to have an account. And then, after that, there's this teller who is going to give you a wrong reception. So people prefer to be independent, especially the Gen Z and Gen Z Alpha. They want to make things speed. They prefer precision, seamless processes, no bureaucracy. So far where we are, the adoption is big based on what we see the numbers. Because in the last 5 years, we've seen a lot of change. The industry is employing a lot of young people. They're moving money in and out. Some are trading, others are experts. They're doing consultancy. The others are into regulation framework. Others into education. So the framework is good. The adoption is growing from 1 to 10. I can say that at least 7% every young people you find, they're talking about digital assets. They're talking about blockchain, understanding how do they harness the opportunities around it. Of course, they know the risks, and we are training them to be good citizens. Yes, as leaders.
That's interesting. So I think you've given a summary of how crypto adoption is currently in Uganda.
Yes.
And also you've given a background information about yourself. Sorry, I was supposed to have asked you that first.
It's
okay. Yeah, so just the second part on the follow-up on the question is that when you think outsiders get the story wrong about Uganda market, what do outsiders think that is inaccurate?
Which outsiders?
Outsiders, people outside Uganda. It doesn't need to be outside Africa. It could be Africans. It could be diaspora.
Okay. So different categories, they have different mindsets. To the developers who are developing around blockchain, what they have seen, Ugandans in particular, they are very good educators. They don't take long to adopt. They're like Nigerians. We have something in common, something similar in common. So there's a lot. If you want to control Africa, run to Nigeria first. Then if you want someone to spread the knowledge around something, after Nigeria, run to Uganda, because Ugandans naturally we are entrepreneurs, so we want to venture into something new. That we want to spread the news, even if you don't have money. We feel that you can operate on other people's experience, other people's money, and leverage on time. So you find out that people they're spreading across. So, developers, I think Uganda is one of the places where you can, young talents, get developers also into hackathons and so on and so forth. To the investors, of course, Ugandans are very good. They may not have a lot of volumes, but in terms of the appetite, young people are always exploring. It has now cut across from the young people to also the older generation, because they have seen challenges with on-chain transactions. I mean, traditional finance, how it operates. So they venture into something that, they feel that you cannot control it, but at least there's privacy.
Okay.
So where they're getting it wrong, they think that there's nothing going on because of internet and so on and so forth. But young people are very smart in Uganda. They're running around. They have built projects. I've seen a lot of solutions, wallets to, working with international brands, tokenization processes, coin creations, meme tokens. There's a lot of work going on ground.
Okay, that's very.
And that's why I push the regulator to come on board as fast as possible, because the regulator has seen that, look, these people are, they're transacting. It's a digital economy. The digital nomads are there. The blockchain are there.
So that actually takes me to my second question around regulation. So Uganda has largely taken a cautious approach to crypto regulation. If you are advising the government today, what would a workable digital asset framework look like? And what mistakes should Uganda avoid making?
Okay, good question. Well, let me first give you the synopsis of what is happening inside. Uganda has formed what we call a technical working group committee, spearheaded by, of course, there's Minister of Finance, Bank of Uganda, we have Financial Intelligence Authority, we have Capital Markets Authority, because people are going to do tokenization, and then we have security agencies, they're coming on board, Uganda Police, Judiciary, and so on and so forth. They've been working together And that's why, and that's how also we are inside. Like Uganda Blockchain Association, there's an association for technology consults in Uganda. So all those people have come together to form a technical working group. And the taxman is also behind the curtains. Behind the curtains, they're trying to see how can we tax this Uganda Revenue Authority. So much is going on, and before the close of this year, government is going to give, based on what we know, it may change anytime. I don't speak on behalf of government, but from the look of things, before the close of this year, there's going to be at least a strategic direction in terms of regulations and policies. So we've been following a lot of studies. In particular, Nigeria, we've taken a case study on what the government is doing.
Yeah, okay.
They launched their Naira, and then so we've been taking benchmarks. Kenya has also taken something. So a lot of benchmarks have been going on. We've seen where government has sent delegates in different countries to attend blockchain summits. They've invited a lot of experts in regulatory frameworks, most especially on stable currencies, because stable currencies seems to be a big deal to them.
So you see, the way your conversation is going, it seems like as if you have my questions prearranged with you, because the thing I was going to ask was on stable coins, right? So, yeah, but thanks for sharing a lot on Uganda's regulatory framework and landscape.
Yes.
I think Africa is trying to move towards that, and even the entire global space. We are currently seeing conversations around MiCA licensing globally and challenges that some exchanges may face, and this may broader affect the entire crypto regulatory framework globally. So now moving on stablecoins across Africa, the conversation is increasingly shifting from speculation to utility. Do you believe stablecoins? Yeah. So now, do you believe stablecoins will ultimately have a bigger impact on Uganda's economy than Bitcoin, and why?
Yeah, I totally believe, because when it comes to real world assets, people want to get out of noise to real solutions. So what stable currency is going to be, I mean, to support in one way or the other on the cross-border payments. It's easy for you to, as even the government, to move in and out money. That is one angle. Then the other angle, okay, it becomes trade to become easy. It helps, it facilitates trade to become efficient, because you can move money in and out at precision. Then on the other way around, those who are going to do tokenization, I believe it will have a lot of impact for the smart investors who want to take part into tokenization. So they can use the stable currencies or any digital currency which has been issued to participate into fractional ownership. And I've seen it here in Dubai. Stable currencies have pushed a lot of since 2015, I mean 2025 to 2026, we've seen a lot of growth and the adoption. And many stable currencies are settling in here. For example, Tether, I've seen Tether in DMCC, Dubai Commodity Center. I've seen XRP settling in DIFC. These are all, they're seeing potential in the region. They can be able to trade. So we believe that these stables, there's going to be a lot of impact driving traffic in terms of investments across Africa with other regions. As tokenization come through, we will see a lot of money moving in or exchanging hands from one or the other, which probably people can't do with Bitcoin. Of course, Bitcoin, we know it's the mother, it's the head of each and everything. But stables, they'll help to mitigate some risks alongside transactions and so on and so forth. However much eventually DeFi protocols will take over, because at the end of the day, people want to remain anonymous. They want to have privacy. Put everything on chain. I mean, in a platform where, you know, they can say, okay, from today onwards, no more transactions from this wallet or so and so. So those key issues or partner issues can be sorted. Yeah, but I believe, and I'm very pro stable currencies to come through, mostly in Africa, because we need them to do capital financing.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that as well. All right, so now on the remittance question. So for Ugandans, send and receive billions of dollars annually through traditional payment channels.
Yeah.
How significant could stablecoins become in reducing remittance costs and improving cross-border commerce across East Africa?
Okay. One, the cost of transaction is quite expensive right now. I always see it both internally but also even externally for cross-border. To give an example, the young people who live in UAE here, let me use just an example. Sending money back to Uganda, they almost part with 10% extra cost. 10%.
Of the money.
Yeah, whatever you want to transact, there's 10%.
Oh.
You know, so that's a lot of money. It's a very big cost. So to the consumers, I mean to the users, stable currencies will lower down the costs. And how is it going to be done? Developments are coming through digital wallets. I mean, you've seen we've seen it in Nigeria. People like a friend of mine, Peter.
Yeah.
he has developed a wallet. So that's alone, once the framework is done well, a lot of innovations will come through, and you're gonna see how people in Africa creating solutions, design systems that can bring in revenue, but also to employ fellow Africans, because we understand our challenges in Africa.
Yeah, true.
So that is going to be number one. Now to the regulators, they'll have traceability of everything. It will be very easy for them to tap into the Web3 ecosystem, understand, okay, how does it operate? What are the risks? How do we solve these risks? Case in point, I've transacted with Daniel. Then Daniel hasn't paid. So how do we solve that problem? Or I've received on the wrong address or some data money and so on and so forth. So much can be sorted. And at the end of the day, there's money freedom, or freedom of money.
Yeah. Agreed. Freedom of money. All right. Delving into the next, you've spent years supporting blockchain education and ecosystem development. Yeah. So what are the biggest structural challenges preventing Uganda from producing more globally relevant Web3 startups?
Number one, what some of the challenges in the education sector, or what I've seen, people were entering into the space that probably tried other avenues. It's like how the music industry came through Africa.
Okay.
The artists we're just people who are pleasing others. You know, it's an entertainment. Okay, probably Chief so and so is very happy, so you invite Daniel, the artist, to entertain you. So it, as a small child, your parent can't guide you to become an entertainer, because it's so much something to do with it's not serious. They want you to be a doctor, they want you to be an engineer, a lawyer. So when you tell, as it has been in the past, when you talk to someone in Africa that I am a blockchainer, so they want to run away. The first thing is that let me hide my phone. This person, they are so smart, they can hack into your account and all money is gone. So the phobia around it, it has created the blockchainers to take time. I mean, the industry has been very slow. Even in universities, just to go with a hackathon that you're gonna train blockchain. You want to train our kids here to become money launderers, or you want to train them to become hackers, bank hackers. So that has affected a lot on growth. But also the scams around it have affected so much to the society, just to help them differentiate what is wrong and what is right. It has taken time, which we agree, and but I see of late many solutions are being created every single day, and government is also trying to give in a hand. Before it was a no-go zone. It is a risk area, whether developmental, whether business-wise, or it was a dead end. So as leaders, we're supposed to, go there first, create some light that, look, you can't sink here. You're building a Web3 project. Look at people like CZ. See what they're building. Look at people like Vitali. See what they're building. And such examples have really onboarded a lot of people at different stages of life. And what started as a job, we see a lot of activities are going on across the region, not even in Uganda alone, but in Tanzania, Kenya, Rwanda, and other regions around East African community.
This again it looks like I shared you a script, because now you've mentioned Kenya, which was heading to my next question. So, but then before we get to that question, I just wanted to finish up on the previous question in terms of Web3 startups in Uganda. Are there any structural challenges that maybe preventing Uganda from producing more globally relevant Web3 startups? Generally that. How is access to funding for Web3 startups in Uganda, etc.? Around that topic.
Actually, the biggest challenge is it started with the mindset. Even VCs, they couldn't see sense in anything to do with blockchain, crypto. So innovations around it were not much appreciated than any other, softwares or, traditional finance. So, which slowed down because of that mindset. But now there's a shift on so many things. I've seen even Web2 applications. Many of them they're building on chain. The other day I had someone calling me from a Fintech company. They're into money remittance. So he said, bro, we accept crypto. By the way, we settle payments, But after so many years, I told him like 7 years ago, So it's coming right now. Because of challenges they've gone through, their accounts being frozen here and there, they can't move money within. I mean, they can't do a lot of cross-border, so they resorted into stables, USDT, USDC, and some of these fintech companies, they get advice from, let's say, their friends in the US, from China. So once they get it from that recommendation, that's how they run back to you. Like, oh, the other thing you told me about, we're trying to develop, and then our team in the US told us to do this project via blockchain. How does that thing work? So it started with that mindset phobia, but and also that phobia is gating away, which gives access to smart investors to come through, invest. Before, the investment was going into speculation, which created a lot of confusion. People were investing in meme coins so heavily based on the on misinformation they've gotten somewhere else. You know, someone buys a coin in a private sale, thinking that it's going to be listed on the public exchange, and then they make, you know, they create wealth in an overnight. They become. I've seen those tokens, so many. There are so many programs, such programs in Africa, in Uganda. So we had a lot of them, and they ruined a lot of people's savings. So which created an investor fear into the Web3 real projects.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for giving that light on that aspect. So now,
I don't know whether you've had a lot of Ponzi schemes in Nigeria.
Yeah, yes, we've had a lot of them.
Someone comes with a let's say token, and then they put it in a certain exchange, and then they run all the investors.
Yeah, and there's still a lot of them that people push on, like Solana platforms, and just temporary meme coins, and they dump it on every investor and all of that. So yeah, we've experienced that. We've even experienced outside of the crypto space, some Ponzi schemes where they promise people, you know, put in certain amount to multiply. We've had a lot over the years. But anyway, it's also surprising that these Ponzi schemes still work on people to today, and they will still keep working. And that's the part I don't understand. But then, but that's a challenge. So, but now moving to the banger question: Uganda versus Kenya. Kenya is often viewed as East Africa's fintech leader. Where does Uganda currently lag behind, and where do you think Uganda has a competitive advantage that many people overlook?
Truthfully, to be honest, Kenya, that's leadership. Let me summarize it in leadership.
Okay.
So, the government of Kenya is trying to position Kenya as the capital of Africa going forward. So it has given them that added advantage. That's a lot of capital is now being sent to Kenya. And resources, because it starts with capital and resources. If you avail resources, growth is inevitable. Big companies are registering in Kenya right now as we speak. Even now, I saw recent Binance, and they have appointed now the new based in Kenya. He has been pushing M-Pesa. So
Larry Cook.
Exactly. So you have to agree with some of the. I'm an entrepreneur, and I've also learned to become a global citizen. So I am not trying to say that my country is not doing so much, but sometimes leadership matters a lot in decision making on so many things. However, Uganda has a competitive advantage of educated people, very young population, which is are exposed to so many things. Ugandans are well traveled. They're everywhere. They're all over. They're like Nigerians. I have a friend of mine. He told me, if you land in a country where there are no Nigerians,
yeah,
you know,
run away from the country. There is no lights in that country.
there's no light.
Yeah, Nigerians look for greener pastures.
Exactly.
So they don't find it there, they don't stay there.
Exactly. So, Kenya's positioned, and but being that we are in the East African community, we believe that there's so much synergies around it. So what innovators do, because Uganda is very, in terms of costs, it's affordable on many things when it comes to development. So they sit in Uganda, but they develop from Kenya. So you develop.
Yeah, I think the person you are referring to, so I was mixing it up, from Nairobi, Kenya, Sami Mutua, who was with M-Pesa. He's now their general manager. Yeah, Binance. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Exactly. So,
Anyway,
nevertheless, as on the other way around, you know, the East African region federation is also at its play. It's very accessible. Kenya and Uganda are almost accessible. People are not very closed. So it has helped a lot for young people in Uganda and Kenya within that space to, collaborate on so many things. Even this week, there was, last week, no, this week, there's a group of Ugandans. They organized the Bitcoin marathon in Kenya, and it was well attended. Young people. So I believe there's so much that we can always put together.
Okay. I think Uganda is still a very promising market. Interestingly, in my conversation with Franklin, one of the last questions I asked him was, which country in Africa that he feels is overlooked or is underrated in Africa? And he said Uganda. He said that Uganda has a lot of potential, but there's not so much, maybe so much light on them. And he believes that Uganda is a very promising market for crypto space, considering that he has also been there. And then we now joked, and I asked him, I said, oh yeah, about you. And then we just laughed over it and all that. So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so now moving to, like I said, you also mentioned Binance because of your previous answer, and that was actually part of my next question. So Binance exchanges are local markets. Having working close with crypto communities and exchanges yourself, what do global exchanges still misunderstand about African users, particularly it's like Uganda?
Please come again. I lost you somewhere.
Okay, so I said, having worked with global crypto communities and exchanges, like the likes of Binance and the rest of them, what do these global exchanges still misunderstand about African users, particularly in markets like Uganda?
What they miss, I think, what they miss is sometimes they're overlooked because of the probably volumes. But in terms of knowledge, they have seen that in Africa, particularly Uganda, it has potential based on how people use platforms. I've seen how young people are using P2P in Uganda, and it's employing a lot of young people. The P2P platforms for Binance, Bybits, OKX, CoinW, and so on and so forth. So many of them have, they're into those markets and they've come through. Where they get it wrong, they categorize the leadership or the governmental side with the masses or the adoption. So those are two different things.
Okay.
The leadership might be slow. Government systems are always very slow, very slow. But now when it comes to the adoption on ground, oops, young people are very smart. They always go forward. They invent, they do P2P, they trade. I know some serious traders. They do market making. They have become community managers for many platforms. Others are building. Of course, why the building hasn't been or development has not been very successful. It starts with a mindset for the investors. But on the other side, exchanges, they have to, get the other way around. But also to understand the niche or the potential of each area. Yeah, for example, if I want volume, I know which countries do have volume because of the disposable income.
Which countries are those?
You know them. You also work with platforms,
I want to hear from you.
But also the other way around, if I want the adoption in terms of people who can light other candles, I know which countries I can go for. They may not have the solid volumes, but they can send my message to the entire community, or they can spread it across.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would have been very much interested if you specify the countries.
Nigeria and Uganda.
For which one is for volume? Which one is for community?
Both volume and community.
Okay.
That's that.
Okay. I think that's actually true.
Yeah.
And in my own, like you mentioned, that work with other platforms, and from my experience with other platforms, I think the strategies that these global exchanges take differed, and that's what kept people like Binance leading. So Binance use a community-first approach mostly.
Yeah.
They're particular about trying to engage the community, have some events, do some of these things. But other platforms like Bybit and the rest, which I'd worked with, were much more heavily focused on volume. So this differed, and I think community focus pays long term. Or the volume we get short term, but the community focus actually gives a long term impact. So I think that's one of the things I picked from that. All right. So moving forward to the next wave of adoption. If we fast forward 5 years, what do you think will onboard the next million crypto users in Uganda? Bitcoin, stablecoins, tokenized assets, gaming, payment, or something else entirely?
Okay. 5 years down the road,
Yeah.
I think payments.
Payment. Okay.
Because everyone wants to pay. Everyone wants to pay.
Okay.
And, yeah, because see, Uganda has a lot of diasporas from different countries. So those people want to send in and receive money, but in a way that it's private. They always want to do it privately because the mainstream infrastructure is enormous. There are many laws of recent. The government signed what we call there's a bill, I've forgotten the name. It's about, it makes everyone out of Uganda becomes a non-Ugandan. I've forgotten that. It's amazing. I'll mention it. So that law, such laws, they hinder a lot of okay, they create opportunities for Web3 people who are into blockchain, because now they want to send money to their families, so they find ways. They want to use, let's say, Flutterwave. They want to use SendWave, on-chain platforms. I've seen a lot of them have learned also to use Binance, these exchange platforms, so they can go on Binance. Probably if someone is in UK, they can buy P2P UK, and then they sell to, let's say, P2P Uganda. So in that, there's arbitrage, so it becomes an opportunity for them to explore something of that nature. So payments will bring you adoption. Then number two, tokenization will come through at a later stage.
Okay.
So there's so much to be done around tokenization. It needs the technical know-how. You need regulators, and government issues. They take ages. It's not a one-day process. Yeah, the bill is called sovereignty bill.
Okay.
Yeah, you read about it. It's very, very dangerous.
Okay.
Bill. And then the other bill is I think they have hindered certain amounts of money to be transacted in form of cash to threshold, but also even checks. So those things are going to produce a lot of volumes. People who have money, they want to push it in a sophisticated way. And of recent, I've gotten a lot of requirements from the law firms. Can you help us set up our wallets? Them they are coming from traditional finance and they want to receive money on behalf of their clients. Can you help us to get hardware wallets in Dubai? Can you buy for us, let's say, those hardware so they want to move their money on phones and hardware pips. So that tells me that human beings were designed in a way that you can't limit them, but every time when you block something, they explore something else. They go to another level of creativity.
Yeah, true.
So from that angle, it is going to push, but also even the trading based on the integration of AI.
Yeah.
So the AI has simplified a lot of things in the marketplace. On the precision of data and so on and so forth. So young people want to earn an extra income. On arbitrage, I see a lot of Nigerians also in Uganda, they are doing arbitrage. They have platforms where you can sell your Nigerian naira. You buy Nigerian naira, you sell it to Uganda shillings, then there's a difference. So those platforms, so many in Uganda, they keep on cycling that. So before you know it, at the end of the day, he has made something to take home. Yeah.
Okay, so payments largely, and then tokenization maybe later, and then trading. I think that's the hierarchy in which you put it. So Africa's biggest missed opportunity now. You've observed crypto adoption across multiple African markets. I see you've mentioned Nigeria, you've talked a bit on Kenya and all that. So what is the biggest opportunity Africa is currently underestimating in digital assets? And what could happen if we fail to capitalize on it?
Well, the main opportunities in digital assets or the blockchain space. But allow me to mention an opportunity in compliance and cybersecurity. Those ones have been tackled, but there's a lot of untapped potential around it. If all these regulations come through, there's going to be legal firms required to do due diligence. Somewhere there's been a financial crime, so they need an expert to do that at a cost. or the court, the judiciary will need its own entities to help them, to investigate around the crime. So that industry hasn't been touched. It is underrated, but it has potential to grow.
Okay.
Forensics, audit, things to do with fighting taxes. So that area, it's a structured area, but it has a lot of potential for young people to professionalize. Equally to also the other ones who are trading in terms of P2P, payments, merchants. So we should also think around these other areas. Compliance, anti-money laundering, forensics, things to do with that angle, audit. So it's across. I mean, in Uganda in particular, because we have a lot of cases online at either police or at court, but those cases they can't go anywhere. Some defrauded a couple of millions, but they can't investigate it beyond. It needs some technical know-how that can be approved by courts.
Okay.
So those are the challenges which I've seen. Dubai has done it. Those cases are handled, and there are many benchmarks which have been done. But for the adoption, I encourage young people to understand payments, to understand cross-border payments, remittances on chain, trading, not in a speculative way, but trading in a way that you can hold, you can invest.
Okay.
You can
long-term psychology.
But not in a way that you invest everything you have. No. In a structured way, you do a dollar cost average. You keep spending something every month. You're like, no, this amount of money which I was going to take to the bar, or which I was going to do the party, let me buy Solana, let me buy Ethereum, let me buy BNB, let me buy some for future. Let me do an investment plan, a 5-year plan. Every month I should be spending $100 instead of saving that money in an account, and tomorrow it's gonna lose value. You rather do an investment plan, not a coercive way, but something that is going to be there. You do a 5-year plan. Every single month I should spend $10 into an asset. Every time when this asset drops, I should buy for let's say $20 or $100, depending on your capability. So that way, that's how we are going to grow and see how people are going to go to another level.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah, bless you. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Now the final major question, the question policymakers need to hear. So if Uganda's president, central bank governor, fintech founders, and telecom executives were all sitting in the same room today, what would you tell them about the role crypto and blockchain should play in Uganda's economic future?
Give me that question again. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, I'll go again. Sure. If Uganda's president, central bank governor, fintech founders, and telecom executives were all sitting in the same room today, what would you tell them about the role crypto and blockchain should play in Uganda's economic future?
One, I'll tell them that they either embrace this or it is going to embrace them. They become masters or they become slaves of the technology.
Okay.
It's two-way traffic. You are either a master or a slave of the technology. Because change is inevitable. Whether you know it or not, you don't know it, there are decisions that are made without your participation. The US signed a Genius Act, and now they're working on there's another act which they have brought in. I don't know whether you've seen it around.
Okay.
Let me check here. I saw it yesterday, but one. Just a minute. Yeah, Clarity Act.
Okay, Clarity Act. Okay.
So these things are coming. They're going to. They're shaping the economy. They are shaping the industry. So you better set up an environment, be friendly to it, accept to learn, and then onboard young people who have competence in that, work with them so that you see growth, of course, through governance and regulations. That's what I tell them. But nevertheless, governments that have embraced this, we've seen how they've transitioned. UAE has raised a lot of money through this because each cryptocurrencies here, big projects that have invested here heavily. Binance is here heavily. I always go to my beach office. Okay, so these people are investing heavily and they're making money. They started when there was no law. The government invited them, worked with them, understood what they didn't know. These people were they were very open to train the government or to share their books with the government that, look, this is how we make money, so you can come through like this. So in Africa, it's different. In Uganda, it's because it's a mindset. The other day, let me just give you an example. The Revenue Authority of Uganda invited traders to come through, but it was through provocation. It was even traders themselves were scared. They're like, but we are going there to disclose how we earn money. So at the end of the day, if they invite you that, look, you're supposed to pay this much, how will it? So I think we need to have more roundtables with the stakeholders. Governments has to the government has to put a human face to invite everyone so that they see you as a safe haven, not as a witch hunter. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So just on the bonus note, will Uganda become a net exporter of blockchain innovation over the next decade, or will it remain a consumer of technology built elsewhere? What needs to happen for the country to lead rather than follow?
Now, what needs to be done for Uganda to grow at a speed where we want it to be? One, as the private sector is taking charge or is taking lead, innovators taking lead, the government has to also come through in terms of support. Support comes from different avenues. It could be a financial support. Allocate a budget for innovation, and then let that budget go to the innovators. It shouldn't be a generic support whereby even if you walk into a government office, no one can support you. No. That has to be understood. And also in terms of mindset, because mindset is very key. However much they are willing to support and they have not worked on the mindset of people who sit behind chairs. Educate them on the opportunities vis-a-vis the challenges. Because when you go to a government agency, all they know about blockchain, they know negative news around it than
positive. Yeah.
they have more than 30 reports. May I have some government whatever's.
They seem to focus on that,
so
on the.
We take long to chat, but every time there is a scam, a saga, they are the first to send it to you. Look, we want to prove to you that you guys took the wrong journey. So and imagine those are the people that we are supposed to work with. When there is a development globally, they don't share. That one is not shared. When there is a small challenge or somewhere, somehow, that one is shared immediately. So the mindset is very key.
Okay.
To understand, yeah.
All right. I think it's been a very comprehensive and educative, insightful conversation that we've had so far. Thank you so much for your time, Daniel.
It's really my pleasure.
Yeah,
it's
really
my pleasure. Feel free to, every time there's a need.
Yeah,
I'm
sure, for sure.
Available to share the experience, because experience is very important.
Yes, very, very important. And this is what we would like people to understand. Just like I mentioned earlier, the vision and goal is to share and tell Africa's crypto story from the grassroots, from the local founders, from the key opinion leaders. So let us hear what's going on without the noise, without the global interference and all of that. So this is one of the best I've had. I think maybe because of you're in Dubai, your network is very strong, the video quality is strong. The lights, everything is very smooth, and I really like it. So anyways, thank you so much. I think we're able to keep in time. It's supposed to be just like an hour. So hopefully we'll catch up in Dubai or Uganda, any of the two countries. How long are you in Dubai?
Actually, I'm a resident here, but I travel to Uganda, I travel here. So if there's an event, I can travel to Uganda. If there's a family engagement, I travel to Uganda, something of that nature.
Okay,
I'll send you some of the reports for what we've been working on with the government.
Okay.
As the Uganda Blockchain Association. Some of these reports are still under work in progress.
Okay.
But for your perusal, probably to hope to for you to understand where we are.
Yeah.
If it wasn't Ebola, we intended to host a blockchain summit this year.
Oh, okay.
But we are still talking to the Bank of Uganda just to see whether they can also be part of it. Last year we had one, it was very successful.
Okay.
And this year we wanted to make sure that we scale up on the numbers and we do it much better. So we hope probably we shall invite you as CoinAfrica.
Yes. If you do so, we'll be glad to be there. We're glad to be media partners too as well.
No problem.
All right. Thank you so much, Dan. We'll talk soon. And of course,